Well, good afternoon. I'm glad to see such a crowd here. Everybody else in Pickens County is over at the Chattahoochee Tech watching Clean Eastwood. So I'm glad you all are here. But as you know, this is going to be the groundbreaking of our new courthouse here in Pickens County. And my notes are blowing around, so I don't know how well I'm going to keep this. But as most of you all know, this is an accumulation of a 4-year SPLOST, or a 6-year SPLOST 4 years ago in 2008. It was part of the SPLOST referendum that we remodeled the old courthouse and build on to the back of it. And this is hopefully the beginning of that process. Before we get started, though, I would like to thank a few people. I want to, of course, recognize Rick Jaspers. He's our state representative. He's here today. Glad to see him here. But I also like to thank Bruce Jennings with JKH Architects. Bruce is the one that's been with this thing since the beginning of the SPLOST of '08 to help us design this product that we're trying to put out today, along with Mr. Tom Eubanks, who helped put the space allocations and all together. They come up with a plan on that one. Crystal Marble out of Cumming, Georgia. They had teamed up with Blue Ridge Marble out of Nelson. Evan Howell sitting back there. If everybody, well, Evan, raise your hand. Evan's the only one here with a hard hat, so if that tells you anything, he has already been working on the building. But yeah, that's true. That's true. But Crystal Marble is the one that is doing the marble restoration on the front, along with the Blue Ridge Marble out of Nelson that has resurfaced and refinished the marble. And they have done a great job, and they should be finishing up here hopefully next week, and the scaffolds will be coming down. So then the process of this will start. The Thurman Sloan, where's Thurman at? Right here. Thurman's sitting behind me. Mr. Sloan is the one that helped the county when we did the administration building at the old hospital. He is going to oversee this building for the county as we bring it up through. And he has done well with the architect, trying to run all departments and keep with them. I'd like to thank all the department heads, and I know it's been a struggle trying to get all the offices and the size of the offices, and contrary to popular belief, that was a struggle in itself. Judge Weaver has the complete back side of the building, all 4 stories. But no, that's not true. But I would like to thank Judge Weaver, Judge Rodney Gibson, who is retiring after his term this time, after 30 plus years. Rodney, I guess you were here when this courthouse was built, wasn't you? No, but I would like to thank Rodney, Judge Alan Wigington, Magistrate, Clerk of Court Gail Brown, Sheriff Donnie Craig. Donnie hadn't got here yet. He's having to go pick his children up, but he's on his way. William Fawcett of Probation. I also would like to thank Mayor John Weaver and the City Council. They have been very cooperative for letting us be able to close some streets that we are going to have to close part of this one over here. And we're going to have to be digging up a few more to get the sewer lines, water lines, gas lines, and the power lines. Some of these are going underground. They have been very cooperative on putting those plans together on that one. And of course, the staff of all these elected officials and appointed officials that we have here, y'all going to have to bear with us over the next few months. I would like to go ahead and announce that New South Construction out of Atlanta is going to have the contract on this building. They have, I don't want to say promised, but they can complete this job probably in about 12 to 14 months. So that is, we are really excited to get this thing underway and get it out of our hair. But with the renovation, as most of y'all know, the renovation of the old courthouse, which is about 15,000 square feet that you see behind me, as well as the addition of the new addition that we're going to have here, that's going to buy about 55,000 square feet. Total construction, somewhere around 65, 66, 67,000 square feet building. So we are anxious to get it started. I'm anxious to get it done, and I'm anxious to get it paid off, all those 3. And that, believe it or not, that's not far off. So again, I want to thank y'all for doing that. We're going to have a groundbreaking here in a second, but Judge Weaver, would you like to say a few words?
I can recall a couple of years ago when we started talking about this project, how excited I was for a lot of different reasons. I know what you're thinking. I truly don't have the entire, all 3 floors of the courthouse, but we do have ample space. But I think what's even more important to the judges and court personnel is that we feel like with the additional space and the additional courtrooms that we can provide the type of service that we want to provide to the citizens of Pickens County. Sometimes cases are slowed down simply because we do not have a courtroom space available. It's times when jurors are coming in, there was no place for them to be seated. People hated to stand up, and sometimes those who were older or maybe had a handicap, it was very inconvenient for them to be on the jury because we simply had no place to put them where they could be comfortable. So we are excited that, yes, it's going to be a beautiful building, and I'm one of those people who believes that the courthouse is truly the heart of the county, and that it's a symbol of everything that we love about this country. We love the freedoms that we have. We love our Constitution, and it is the courthouse and the staff and the attorneys and the people working in the courthouse that helps to ensure, along with our elected men and women who die and give their life for that, who helps us to remember the greatest thing about this country is our system of law, our freedoms that we have, and to ensure that we have those freedoms, then we need to have the courthouse and individuals who are willing and ready to stand up and defend the Constitution of this state and of the United States. And sometimes that's very unpopular. So we are extremely excited. We think we'll be able to serve you better, serve you more efficiently, and give you a pleasant place to be, even in times when you don't want to be there. And at least it will be pleasant. So, Mr. Commissioner, I want to thank you on behalf of all of the judges of the Appalachian Judicial Circuit, Judge Bradley, myself. Judge Lucia was not able to be here today. We appreciate your willingness to work with us to make sure the space was adequate and efficient, not luxurious, but to the point where we can do our jobs a whole lot better. So we say thank you to you. So please join me in thanking our commissioner for willing to do this. I look forward to the day when we're standing here again, opening the first day of court in our brand new courthouse. And I've written that down, Mr. Commissioner, as what, 12 to 14 months? Now, who is here that I would need to hold in contempt for that? I see here. If the sheriff was here, I'd tell him to go ahead and take a photograph so we'll know who to look for. So I like 12 a lot more than 14. So we're hoping that you'll stay on schedule, and I want to also thank everyone for being here today. Thank you, Mr. Commissioner.
Thank you, Judge. We kind of got it expedited. I think when I threatened Judge Weaver with a double-wide pink trailer down here with Shack Carpeting, I think it finally got her on the move. But this time we'd like to have a groundbreaking. I'd like Judge Brenda Weaver, Judge Bradley, Judge Alan Wigington, District Attorney Joe Hendricks, Gail Brown, please, come on forward. Your elected official here. Rodney Gibson. Rodney, if anybody resembles the godfather of Pickens County, I want you to look. Do not dig too deep. We don't know if there's any Indian graves.
Gas lines.
Gas lines. Oil. All right.
Oil.
Everybody ready? At 3. 1, 2, 3. All right. Judge Bradley, we will safety work with you.
I don't see him right now, but I saw Phil Landrum standing around. Raise your hand so I can see you. Oh, there he is, right behind the camera. On September the 11th, to follow up on what Judge Weaver said, on September the 11th, Phil Landrum, Phil Freitas, George Weaver, and Rob Ray were in the main courtroom of this courthouse, and we had 3 opening statements were to occur, and we were in the last one, and I could tell that the opening statements were just about finished. Well, the sheriff came over and flagged a little note like this, like he wanted to approach with it, so I beckoned him up to the bench. He comes up and he hands me a little note. I read it, and it says something like this: 2 planes have just hit the Twin Towers. Well, in my mind, I'm thinking Piper, Cessna, Cherokee, accident or something like that, but his face belies that thought process. He leaves, and about 5 minutes later, he comes back, and he flags another little note. So I beckon him up, and it says, they have bombed the Pentagon in the last 5 minutes. Well, at that time, I didn't know what was happening, but I knew there was something pretty significant. And so as soon as the last opening statement was finished, I beckoned the attorneys and I said, I need to see the attorneys in chambers immediately. Well, they came in, and I think Phil will attest to this. They were all, who did what? And they were worried about it. And I said, gentlemen, I don't know what's happened. All I can do is show you the 2 notes. And they both said, all of them said, we've got to quit. Phil Freitas said, my father-in-law works in the Pentagon. Rob Ray says, my children are vacationing right now in Washington, D.C. We've got to stop. And I said, that's why we're here, to figure out whether we mistry the case at the very start or we just continue it to another day. Well, as I'm driving home after seeing the television down in the sheriff's office, I'm thinking how insignificant this water runoff from one property to another is when this is happening in Washington, D.C. and the Capitol. It was 5 weeks before we were able to reconvene that jury and continue on with that case. And when I came back, I told the jurors, you know, this was my thought process going home. But in the intervening 5 weeks, I've changed my mind completely. This insignificant case in Pickens County and every other insignificant case just like it all over the U.S. is why we are what we are and why they've done to us what they've done to us. And I have that belief very much even today, and I want to thank the commissioners and everybody involved for the new facility so we can continue serving this community.
Thank you, Greg. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the ceremony. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. In about 12 and 14 months, I'd like each and every one to be here. We can walk through the building. All right. So please do so. And y'all have a safe weekend. Thank you all for being here. Thank you.